All right. For those of you just joining us, my name is Kate with Scott Loren Marketing. Today we're going to go over designs within Command. With that, we're going to take a look at creating an email signature in Command, as well as social posts. And I did mention if there's additional time and there's something you would like to see within there as far as designs, definitely drop that in the chat. Whether it's to me directly or to everyone, I can take a look at that. And if we have time, we can try to take a look at that design. Everyone is going to remain muted during class. It just allows us to get through all of the content. However, if you have any questions at all, please drop those in the chat. I will pay attention to the chat, as well as we should have time at the end for questions. So if you see me skip over your question, don't worry. It may just be something I'm coming back to at the end. But let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that I like to do with designs is always take a look at the marketing profile. It may not impact us on the design specifically today, but the marketing profile pulls to a lot of your marketing pieces in designs. So I like to make sure everybody knows where to go to update that, because if you're in a design and it's pulling a photo or information and you're not sure where to edit it, this will go over that. So to access your marketing profile, you're going to go to your name up here in the top right and go to settings. Now from settings, you're going to take a look at the marketing profile under connect settings. And for this, the reason, like I said, that we want to take a look at this profile is completely separate from the My Profile. So if you've updated your profile and you're wondering why it's not showing everywhere else, it's because this is the profile that feeds to the majority of your Command profiles or other pieces of information. So it feeds over to your website, to your app, to a lot of your different marketing. So you want to make sure this is updated. Photo, team logo, this applies if you're creating an email design. So if you don't have a team logo, we do recommend throwing something in. Generic KW works great. Otherwise, in some of those designs, you'll see a broken image. So make sure you get something there. Your required information, name, one that's not required, but again, if you're creating an email design, you may get an error if your license number is not entered. So definitely include that if you have it. Your bio is required. This is another one that may cause an error. So it's not a required field, but if you know your website, go ahead and throw it in. It is the full URL. So make sure you don't just type in, the scottleroymarketing.com. It's going to need to be the entire URL. Brokerage information. If you have any compliance, you can add those, and then you have your socials. Once you're done editing your marketing profile, you can go ahead and hit save. And again, some of this information may not feed over to the designs we're looking at today, but it is a vital piece to have updated for the majority of your designs in Command. So definitely make sure that's up to date. From there, we're going to go ahead and jump into designs. So if you're not familiar with these applets on the left-hand side, you can hover over them to find the one you're looking for, or you can hit the red and white KW in the top left corner, and it will expand those. We're going to go into designs. So it is the paintbrush with the little canvas behind it. And from there, there's a couple of ways we can get into creating our actual design. So when you go into designs, yours may look a little bit different. These are past designs that I've created within Command. If you haven't created anything yet, yours may be blank here, and that's perfectly fine. So again, a couple of ways that we can get into the designs. We can either hit create a design and determine what type of design we are creating. So for today, we would take a look at social. Or we can go ahead and hit import design, and that will take us into the other design space. So either of those two options is going to bring you to the same place. It's just kind of however you want to do it. Once we are in the design space, it's going to show WeBrand up top. That is just who we are partnered with that helps us create these designs. But from there, let's take a look at the space here. So if you're on a team, you may have a drop down here to access the team. You'll have templates That's where you're going to have the pre-created templates from KW that you can access and edit. You can access images. This is going to allow you to search for different types of images. My projects, this is going to show you anything that I've created within my account. So same for you if you have anything you've created, and we'll give it a second here to load. Sometimes it just needs a quick refresh. Maybe. All right, well, we'll come back, see if it's working in a second. I have noticed they might be doing some updates to design. Some things in here have changed slightly over the last week or so. So hopefully it doesn't impact us too much today. The next thing is assets. This is another great place to start to get your marketing updated. So a lot of these pieces are going to be easily accessible for you to pull into your designs. So definitely come here. You have the Keller Williams International assets, which are their provided colors, images, text, things like that. So you can find a lot of stock images. Text is just going to be their disclaimer. If when it loads. Hopefully the class doesn't go like this. They'll have their KW logos. Let's try to refresh this again, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know if they're making updates or... There we go. There's logos. So these are their generic Keller Williams logos. You'll also find their basic ones. If you go into the folder. Oh, well... Maybe they are doing some updates. Okay, well, normally there are logos here. I'm sorry about that. Elements are going to be their icons. So they do have like an email icon, cell phone, website, things like that. And then you have your own assets. So these are ones that you can set for yourself. So for example, if you have branded yourself to have a set color scheme for your business, you can create a color palette here to where those colors are easily pulled into your designs for text or things like that. It just makes it a lot easier so you're not guessing the color every time, you're getting the exact colors. You can add a palette by clicking add palette, and then it will allow you to select your colors. Just like this here, you'll kind of just go around till you find the color you want. You also have images. This is where you would want to upload your headshot or any photo that you're using on a regular basis. You can remove the background by clicking the three dots. You can go ahead and quickly remove your background. You'll see that it started down here, and once it's done, it will give me another photo that looks just like this one here. So super easy. Text, if you have any text that you're using often, for example, I like to tell agents if they're putting their app link on a lot of things, if they're putting their website, things like that, that you don't want to have to necessarily remember every time. It's great to have it here because you can easily pull that into your design without having to type it out. Logos, this is where you'd want to add your market center specific logos, or if you have any team branded logos, or if you've branded yourself as a single agent, you can definitely add those here as well. You can even create folders with those various logos. Elements, again, it's icons or like symbols that you might be using on a regular basis. If you have videos or flyers, you can add those as well. Logos wouldn't be here pre-populated. You do need to add those. So I had that question in the chat. Assets need to be added. So if you need to add something here, you would just want to come under logos and hit upload, and it will allow you to select it from your computer or anywhere else so that you can pull those into your designs quickly. Moving right along though, let's go ahead and go into the templates now. So this is where we're going to kind of take a look at to get started. So you can start blank, choose template, import, remove backgrounds again. That's an option in here as well. For today though, and I don't know why it brought us into projects that time, but templates are going to be categories, and then they're going to have subcategories. So you'll notice when I close some of these, there's a bunch of categories. And within each of those, there's going to be another category. So for the month of May, let's say that you're looking for a social design, you can come in here and find something that may be related to May. we're going to come back to this because we're going to take a look at creating one of these Mother's Day ones since that's right around the corner. But first, we're going to take a look at an email signature, which is going to be under our business basics. So once you click that drop down, you'll notice we have email signatures. You have business cards that you can pick from if you want to create your own. You can find letterheads. Social branding is a good one because if you don't have like a Facebook cover photo or something like that, you can come here and find a generic one that you can use. You can also find virtual meeting backgrounds for your Zooms. So great place to come. But let's head back to email signatures. Now for email signatures, you'll notice they have two different ones that you can pick from. It is a personal preference on which one you like, so you can pick whichever one you want. We're going to go ahead and go with the red one today. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the use when I hover over it. And from there, it's going to bring me into the editor. We'll give it a second to load. All right. Now from here, we can start kind of editing our email signature. So the first thing that I'm going to start with is the photo. So if I click photo, it should bring me to images, but it doesn't always. Once I'm under images, you'll notice that I have stock images. Those are going to be any photos that are stock that I can search through. You'll notice we also have workspace. Now, workspace is going to be those Keller Williams provided assets that we were looking at previously. So you can definitely come here and check those out. Obviously not for this photo we're replacing, but if you're creating something else. And then we have my assets. So these are where the photo that I uploaded for my headshot is going to show up. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and grab mine instead of Scott's today. And since I'm clicked on this photo, I can hover over this and hit this double arrow, and it's going to replace the photo. Now what that does is it puts it in the exact perfect space that I had the other photo in. Now let's say that I still want to crop or adjust this. I can double click on it and move it around. I can also make it bigger if I want to. However you want to crop that to keep it how you like it, you can go ahead and do that. Once you've adjusted it how you like, I'm going to move it back. Don't really want it zoomed in extra. We can go ahead and hit done. Done is going to essentially be our save for that specific section. And it looks like I got a little bit of red space at the top, so I'm going to fix that. There we go. Now this is a personal preference. I don't know about you guys. It bugs me that this line goes into the photo, so I'm going to move that. I'm just using my space arrow or my arrows on my keyboard to move that over. Again, personal preference there. You can totally leave it if it does not bother you. Now next thing is going to be our logo. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the logo. From there, it brought me into logos. However, I'm currently in the workspace. Now, as I said before, the workspace is going to be those Keller Williams provided assets that we looked at. To find mine, I'm going to go to My Assets. And that is where I will be able to find my logos that I've added. If they are going to load. I really hope this works today. If not, we'll swap it with a different logo. Okay, well, we're going to just grab one of these for today if it will load too. There we go. So normally, again, I would pull in my Market Center specific logo for this. You would definitely want to do that. Most compliance requires that. Again, I can use the double arrow to replace that, and it's going to put that into that same little space. Now, let's say that I don't like this here. I can certainly move it to a different area if I want to. These email signatures are kind of yours to customize how you see fit. Just make sure whatever changes you are making are within your compliance. So definitely check with your compliance coordinator or broker in charge, and they can make sure that you are good to go once you've created that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit my name, and I'm going to move it up because, again, I'm just going to kind of customize this for myself today. we're going to take a look at a different font. I like the cutesy one. And I can, of course, make that bigger if I want it to be bigger on the email signature. Move it around, however you want. I'm going to move this up now. Next thing we're going to do is edit the rest of our information here. So I'm going to actually move this here too. I don't have a license number, so we're going to leave that as all zeros right now. I'm going to make it look like there's a little line here. And now I've made that box to where it's moved down to the second line. So all I'm going to do is expand that. Of course, you can change the text, things like that. Again, if you want to edit any of that, go ahead. Then if we want to put our address, I'm going to leave the address as is. But in order to edit that text, you can double click like I've been doing and go ahead and edit that. Or you can click on the text that you're interested in editing and hit the typewriter right here. That will open up a box to where you can go ahead and edit that. So just to make a small edit, we'll go ahead and change this to 123 Main Street. And we're going to hit save changes. And as you can see, it went ahead and changed that for me. Next is down here. This is the phone numbers. Now, this is a great place where those assets come into place if you don't want to type out each of those. However, I do like to point out this has multiple pieces of information. So it has the phone number, office, email, website. If you were to replace this with just the phone number, it's going to replace all of that with the one thing. So in this case, I generally recommend to go ahead and just edit those manually by double clicking and typing over the information. So 321, 222, 3232. And then if we want to change our email here, support at scottleroy.marketing.com. Same for your website. Now we may see that this is going to be too long. Nope, it fit. So if we had to move this, we certainly could. If it were too long and we had to expand it past this section, we could certainly adjust that. Next is your app link. So again, if you want to include your app link, I have mine in my assets. Now, I'm not an agent, so mine doesn't actually brand to me, but I can go ahead and swap that to where it has the branded app link, and you can go ahead and include that on there. You can also change the background. If you're not a red person, you can make it gray instead. You can even select a specific color. So say you wanted it to match the, whoops. Oh, there we go, the dropper. Say you wanted it to match the background of your photo to kind of blend it in. I don't like that, but so I'm not going to leave it, but you can use the dropper to find another color within your picture to add that as well. This kind of looks like it's getting cropped off a little bit. Hey, look, we've got them now. There we go. Once you're all done though with your email signature, we can go ahead and download it and then add it to our email. So that's basically editing it. I know we didn't go over all of the categories, but for the email signature, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a ton to edit. You could add whatever you might want, but we're not going to do that today. Before I download, we're just going to take a look at the questions in the chat. I see a couple. I do recommend adding any photos to your assets. Again, it just makes it easier. If you don't add it to your assets, you can certainly come in here and add it from here in your assets. So you can do add image there. But generally doing that's going to add it to your assets anyway. So I recommend just updating those all at once. They used to have just an upload for one thing, but they've kind of removed that over the last month or so. I'm not sure what step you want to repeat it, so if you want to let me know. And you can edit by clicking on the text, double clicking, or by clicking on the item and using the typewriter, okay? That's the two different ways to edit the text. let's go ahead and download this, and then we can add it to our email. We'll actually take a look at adding it to email so you guys know how to do that. In order to download this to use, we're going to hit this, it's kind of a box with an arrow pointing down. We're going to hit download. Now you can download this a couple of various ways. I'm going to go ahead and do it as just a JPEG, but you can use PNG to download that if you wish. We're going to do download. Now from here, we do recommend putting it into, we use IMGUR to upload those. It's supposed to make it work on your phone as well as your computer. However, in some cases, we do see that not work. So if it doesn't, let us know. We can take a look at it. I'm going to grab my image from up here and drag it and drop. As you can see, I have my image here. You can do this a couple of ways. You can click on it and do the copy image address, and it will give you a URL. Or you can download the post and it will give you another image. Let me go ahead and get my email open. Give me 1 second here. Got a lot of stuff going on my screen. Next. Sorry, it looks like it logged me out of my Gmail, so I just need to log into that real quick. And I got a lot on my screen, so it's just taking me a minute. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, a whole nother screen with all kinds of stuff going on. Let's see. And I got somebody joining. I love when it logs me out right when I need it. Okay, we are in. Let me pull this over here. Whoops. All right, guys. So now that we have our email pulled up, now I'm in a KW email. I'm going to click on this little gear in the top right corner. That's going to bring me into settings. So if I click on that and click see all settings, from there, we're going to stay on this general tab on the front and we're going to scroll down to the bottom. Now, I do like to point out the vacation responder kind of looks like an email signature. However, this is your vacation responder, so you're not going to want to use that one. You want to come up just a little bit and you'll notice that we have signature right here. Now I'm going to delete a lot of these because I got a lot. Oops. As you can see, we teach this class quite a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create new, and we're going to name that for today's class because that is the easiest way. And signature. Now you can name these whatever you want. Nobody sees the name of it. That is just for you internally. So we're going to go ahead and create. And then I can start typing my information here that I want to add. So if you want to add text before, you can do that. If you want to insert a link, unfortunately, the images itself are not clickable. So your app link that's not on there is not going to be clickable. However, I'll show you kind of a small workaround to that. So if I go ahead and click this, I do need to go back and grab my photo link. So if I'm going to click on this copy image address, and then if I want to use the link that I made, I can go ahead and paste that here. And it will bring up my image. And then if I just go ahead and hit select, it's going to put my image there. Now I can resize that because obviously that original size is really big. If you don't like this size either, you may need to resize it in Canva or another app and then pull it in. It's kind of your preference there. If you did want this to be clickable to go to your app, you could make the entire image clickable. However, it's only going to take them to, you know, one link. So you couldn't insert multiples. But if you wanted to make that clickable, just hit this link. And then if we type in a website URL, let me grab one. You just grab this SLM website real quick. If I want to put that in, I can. And then that image should be clickable when I use it in my signature. If you want to do the other way where you add the other image, you can certainly do that by uploading. Grab that from here. And it will put that in there as well. Now, as you can see, it's got that link showing now. So if they were to click on that, it's going to take them straight to that link. Again, I can resize that. Once I'm done, there is one last step to turn on your email signature. These two little boxes down below, you do need to make sure they are turned on. Otherwise, that email signature is not going to pop up. So you need to change this to show that email signature. You get to decide if you want it just for new emails or if you want it to also pop up on forwarding or replies. Once you're done there, scroll down, hit that save. And then you can go ahead and just double check to make sure that's on by hitting compose, and it will pop up right here. Now, as you can see, I didn't remove the one, so it's still showing, but you can see that link right there. Now, obviously, one of these is way too big, so I can adjust that right here by clicking best fit. That's how you add the email signature, though. So just going to take a quick look at the questions, and then we're going to move into a social post, okay? How to add the photo. So when I'm adding a photo, I just hit replace with the double arrow here. If I'm not replacing a photo and I just want to add a new one, I can just click on it and it's going to add a new one here. And then I can resize it. So there's two ways to do that. And yes, you just download to your computer in order to use that for your email signature. Now that I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and hit done and then save so we can move into social posts. And it should bring us out of this, but maybe not today. All right, we're just going to go back to command and back into designs. And then one thing I want to point out is if you get a new headshot or if something on your email signature needs to be changed, it's going to remain within your design so that you can access it, edit it, make a copy of it, whatever you want to do. We're going to go into create this time in social. All right, and it's going to bring us straight into the templates here. Whoops. Now from there, again, you get to decide what type of social design you're creating. I kind of said before, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a Mother's Day one. These will be really quick, so if anybody wants to look at a different type after that, we can certainly take a look. But for this, we want to go to holiday and then go to May. And then as you can see that there are already some different graphics for all of the various holidays that are in the month of May. So you have Cinco de Mayo, we had Memorial Day, we have Mental Health Awareness Month, the Mother one, Happy Mother's Day. You'll even find that they create new ones usually every year. So sometimes you'll even see some older ones that were from the previous year. It looks like they may not all be loading, and that's totally okay. We're going to go ahead and just grab one of these top ones. So we'll just go ahead and do this one here that says Happy Mother's Day. And we're going to go ahead and hit use. Now, one thing I like to point out is when you're creating a social design, consider where you're going to be posting that. So is it going to Facebook by itself? Are you posting to Facebook and Instagram? Where are you using that at? As you can see up here, it's going to give you various types of sizes for the images. I generally recommend if you're posting it to more than one, use the square images. They translate the best between the various platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one that's a square. And again, this is going to be super quick because there's not a lot to edit on these. The main thing that you want to make sure gets changed is that DBA name for the logos. It's one thing I didn't go over, but if anybody needs help at the end on it, where to find your Market Center specific logos, let me know and we can take a look at that. Once I click on that logo though, I can go ahead and swap it out for one of my logos that I want to add. I can pick the different colors. There are various colors here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the SLM one on real quick. As you can see, this one has a white background. So some of your logos, if you go to KW Connect and download those, you'll notice that you have some that are transparent and some that are not. So we're going to go ahead and switch that back to one that's transparent. We can move it around if we want to. We can move it to the corner, wherever you want to post it if you don't want it posted right there in the center. We could also change the color if we think the white's going to look better. You can't really see it, so just kind of play around with those. Make sure whatever you use, you can see. From there, I like to show how to add, if you want to add your photo or something like that and your information. I'm going to show you how to add a frame really quickly. So this photo specifically doesn't have an agent photo. If we want to add that and we want to put it in a circle or something like that, if we click off of the image itself, so if we click to the side of it, you'll see that our bars appear different than before. If we go to frames, you'll see that we have some various different frames where you can insert a photo. You could do any of these various shapes depending on your design. We could do a flower since this is a Mother's Day one. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And then I can simply put my photo right into that little flower. And all I'm going to do when I have that is I'm going to hit the replace. And as you can see, it put my photo in that perfect little flower. Again, I can crop that if I don't like how it was showing and hit done. Say if I want to move that down, if I want to make it look like it's sitting on the flower, whatever you want to do, these are yours. But let's say you then wanted to add your agent information, you could certainly grab that from here in your assets. We have my name. Let's grab the website. Oops, I switched it. Okay. And I'm just hitting the plus sign to add something else. So I'm going to move this over. Move this down. You can add whatever you want here. Again, we'll add the phone number. And once I have everything there, I can, of course, make it smaller. I feel like that's really big for this specific graphic. So we're going to go with 14. I don't want it too big. We'll make this like a 16, slightly bigger. Once I get those all lined up. Let's see if we want to move that. If we want to move those somewhere else, we can. See if we want to move all these down here. Oops, we missed my phone number. Don't worry, guys, that's not my actual phone number. But once we have that how we want it, if you wanted to add anything else, you certainly could. But if we're happy with this, we can go ahead and download it. Now, since this is a social post, I like to go over animation. Animation obviously can't be used if it's a flat image, but since this is going on social media, we can certainly bring in some animation to this graphic. So we can click on the piece and go to animation, and then we can kind of decide what we want it to do. So if we want it to pan in, fade in, spin around, we can include those in here. We can actually do both of these. We'll do that one. You can add as many as you want. So you can do it with some of the flowers, these kind of things. It's kind of your thing to make your own. So next we can take a look at what all that looks like once it's thrown together. So if we hit the play button, it's going to show you that, and then it's going to close. So as you can see, it's kind of fast. You can obviously play around with the times and things like that. There's also more if you keep scrolling down. Once we're done though, and we're happy with this design, I'm going to show you guys how to add it in Command to post to your social media. So the first thing we want to do is we want to download it. So if you have animation, you don't want to download it as a JPEG or a PNG because it will then be a flat image and you won't have that animation show at all. So for the animation part, you want to download it as a video and GIF. So we're going to go ahead and hit that one. And then we're going to go ahead and hit download. Now, you'll see here in a second, it should show me a download bar down here on the left. Sometimes it just takes a minute. There it is. Once that's fully downloaded, we'll go into the campaigns and take a look at adding that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. All right, and as you can see, if I need to go back and make edits, I can still locate that in my designs. Next thing we want to do is go to campaigns. Now, before you come here, do make sure your Facebook business page is connected in your settings for social posts, and that will allow you to get started. From there, we want to hit create a campaign. And then we're going to take a look at social posts. Now, social posts is not to be confused with a paid ad. The social post is going to go to your Facebook business page. So people that follow you or like your page are going to see that. Paid ads is going to be an advertisement to people who don't necessarily know you. And it is a different type of way to generate business. So just keep that in mind. We're going to take a look at social posts though. As you can see, my socials are connected. If I click the drop down, I can select which ones I want to post to. We're going to go ahead and select a Facebook and an Instagram so you guys can see them both. Next is creating our content. So this is what is going to show on our post. So happy Mother's Day. We'll keep it real simple. If I could type. We'll add some little emojis because everybody loves those, right? Heart. Whoops, it's not typing. Let's see if there's a mom one. Again, you can make, there's not a mom one. Why is it so sick? Once we have what we want there, for our text, as you can see, it shows up in real time over here on our preview. So these are our previews for both Facebook and Instagram. So you can see them both. They look slightly different. From there, if we click this little add media, that's going to allow us to add our photo. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this one over from up here. And as you can see, I have my video now. So it's a quick little video. It's going to allow me to play it right there. And it's going to show you the whole thing. Same for down here. It'll let us play it. Looks slightly different, but it's not too much different. It does look a little larger. That's just the various platforms. But again, that's why Square works the best for those. Once that's done and we're ready, we can schedule or publish immediately. So if you want to schedule this to go out on Mother's Day, you can certainly do that. That is May 12th. You can set your time down here. Oops, we're going the wrong way. We'll do 8 a.m. And then you can go ahead and hit schedule post or save draft and come back and post it, or you can, like I said, publish right away. So if we go ahead and hit schedule, it's going to give us another preview. It's just showing us what those look like. And we can go ahead and hit schedule. Now from there, it's going to bring us into our campaigns dashboard for social posts. As you can see, there's kind of a calendar here. You can see live and scheduled posts, drafts. You can also schedule out as far as you'd like. We can go to the next week. And then we're actually in the following week where we should be able to see our posts for Sunday, May 12th. Now from here, if you need to make edits, you can certainly do that. You can also delete that post if you decided you want to create a different one. Kind of whatever you want to do there. So that is your post. You'll also notice they have some quick posts over here, so you can definitely take a look at those. The quick posts have, an image and text already included. And if you hit this little like share button, it's going to bring you in to edit that if you want to. But you can go ahead and schedule it. It's going to post it exactly like it is. I'm going to take a look at if there are any questions. Kat, the recording can be found on our YouTube. I will drop that link in our chat for everyone. Are there any questions on anything? There's one last design I can show you for social posts, which is kind of like the little video. Those are great for social posts. So that's going to be this last one. These are super simple, and there's not a lot to them. We're just going to do downtown Orlando. We're just going to pick a random place. From there, it's going to pull the information for you based on the neighborhood that you picked. You can change the name if you want to, but it's going to give you the average home price, all of that information. It's going to give you the neighborhoods. It's going to pull my agent information from my marketing profile. So that's super important. Let me grab the SLM phone number real quick. We will throw it on here. Market center information, it should pull that again. And then if we hit next, it's going to quickly generate a quick little neighborhood video for you that you can quickly post to social media. So again, not much to it. We literally did it right there, and it's going to have a video for us in just a minute here. And there it is. So we'll just play it really quickly. It's only a minute long. All right, guys, so that was it. Like I said, I didn't really have to do anything other than type in that neighborhood, and it created it for me. I can go ahead and save it now. From there, I can go ahead and download and do the same thing. I can add that to a social post, the same as I did for the Mother's Day one. So super quick, super simple, great little social piece for you to post for neighborhoods that you maybe focus on or would like to focus on, that you can create. That is our class today. I like to wrap up so we have a little bit of time for any questions that come up, or any specific designs that someone might like to see. So I'm going to go ahead and stop record. If you don't have any questions at all, feel free to jump off. Thank you so much for joining us today, and hopefully we will see you for another class.